Greetings, Professor McKee here with another quick Excel tip your finance professor wishes you knew. In this video, we will learn how to use the rate function in Excel to find the interest rate for a zero coupon bond question. In any intro finance class, you will have a unit on bonds, and we professors will always have questions where we give you a zero coupon bond and ask you to find things like the price or the interest rate. If you want to ace those questions, this video is for you. I have prepared a standard question here asking us to find the interest rate or annual yield to maturity for a zero coupon bond. Now this is a time value money question, so to get started, it's best to convert our verbal description into the characteristics we need. As this is a zero coupon bond, we're going to need 3 out of the 4 things. Our bond is a 1-year bond and is therefore going to be 1, as we have 1 year in 1 year. Our interest rate is unknown. We want to find this. We're going to leave it blank for now. The price of the bond is going to be $9.87. This is our present value. For all bonds, price and present value are the same. Future value is the amount the bond is going to pay at maturity. It's also called face value. Both have the same FV acronym. And like almost all bonds, it's going to be 1,000. Now, I need to go back and change the 987 to be negative. And the reason for that is because the Excel function assumes that we are finding this interest rate from someone's perspective, and the Excel function will not work if you give cash flows, which both present value and future value are, not the right signs. So in this case, I'm treating the loan from my perspective. The money I give to the U.S. government at the start is the price, $9.87. That's cash going out, so that's a negative because it's an expense for me. And the $1,000 that comes back in at the end of the year is cash coming in, and it's positive. If you don't do this, when you're lucky, you get an error message, and then you know something's wrong, you have to go in and fix it. If you're unlucky, you get a wrong number, and then you don't realize potentially that there is a problem, and you get the question wrong because the interest rate shown is not the right interest rate. Now let's go to our cell here, type equals RATE for rate, and Excel displays our parameters we need. So we need number of periods and per, that was 1. PMT is for payment. Our friend here, the U.S. Treasury, is not making regular interest payments. It's a zero coupon bond that's basically defines payment as 0. So we put in 0. Present value is again our present value, that's the 987, make sure it's negative. And future value, this is the last one we need. This is in closed brackets, which indicates Excel has a default. The default is 0, but hopefully the U.S. Treasury is going to pay us more than 0. They're going to pay us 1,000, so we want to put in 1,000 instead. And type in guess, we can leave it alone. Parentheses, hit enter, and we have our interest rate. 1.32% after rounding is the return the U.S. Treasury is offering us. Now, if we want to be a little fancier, use better Excel practices, and most importantly, be able to reuse the Excel file for future questions, we can use cell references. Instead of typing the parameters directly, we can use the little table we've already created. So I'm going to clear out my function here. And for each parameter I could type in, I will instead tell Excel which cell to reference. So for NPER, it was in B6. I still need the hard code in payment because there's no cell for that. Present value was in B8, and future value was in B9. And as you can see, I still get that exact same 1.3%. Now, I can then save this file, and for a different zero coupon question, I can enter in different parameters for number of periods, interest rate, for present value and future value, and then interest rate will immediately update. So for instance, let's say our price is different. It's actually $950. I go in here, I change 987 to 950, and I have a new interest rate. It's gone up quite a bit as my return over this year has gone up quite a bit. So now it'd be 5%. Mathematically, we're actually doing the exact same thing as just finding the interest rate using a single cash flow, but we are putting the bond information wrapper about on how to do this. So if you want to review how to do this without the bond adding to the question, I've included a link to one of my videos that covers how to find the interest rate for just a single cash flow, which is mathematically identical to what we're doing here. Now, with this single rate function, you can find the interest rate for any zero coupon bond question that your professor might throw at you. If you found this video helpful, please comment, like, and/or subscribe so that other students can find this too. Happy studying!